Good evening. So, I wanted to address something that I've seen recently and in the news, and it's something that has been bothering me a little bit. I usually do not bring politics into weather. I'm a political person, obviously. My Facebook posts, I'm very liberal, Democrat. But when it comes to global warming and climate change, uh, and when it comes to weather completely, I leave politics out of it, as it should be. And in regards to global warming and climate change, there is a lot of debate. There still is. I don't think the media is portraying things as they accurately are. Case in point would be the weather right now. It has been fairly mild over the United States, particularly the east coast of the United States, for the last several days. A little bit cooler today. It's going to be warming up again over the next several days. But turning on CNN, you know it sounds like wow, this is the warmest December ever, and the whole planet's messed up, and yada yada. And it's I've heard people talk about this, and then they're getting upset. They're saying that, oh, the Mayans are right. This is the end of the world, and things aren't being shown as they accurately are. And this is to show that exactly to this point. So what you see in front of you is a map, an outlay of the whole world, the entire planet, in regards to temperature anomaly. White is normal, where you see blues and greens, and then purples, and pinks. That gets into colder than average temperature. Obviously, the blues and the purples are much colder than normal. And the areas that you see in yellow, and then red, and then go up through gray, are areas that are warmer than normal. And what you'll see right off the bat is, yes, over the United States it is warm. Over the next several days it will be above average. But if you look around the planet, leaving the Arctic out of it for one moment, where the place where people live, most of the planet is average, and there really are only two warm pockets. One that's not even very strongly warm over the eastern part of the United States, and then there is a fairly strong one in Southeast Asia over China. But what you do see is that there are three pretty large pockets of cold, and actually much more intense than compared to the warm areas. And those areas can be seen in Central Asia, and then in Western Canada, and also over Europe. Alaska recently had a stretch of extreme cold, as currently is also being experienced in Europe as well. Record cold, in fact. Basically, what I'm doing here is just showing that the way things are being portrayed in the news isn't exactly correct. Now, while in your backyard it's been warm, the planet overall actually is running colder than average. And you can see that over the next 8 days here, the average anomaly, and I have it squared off in red at the top, the planet's actually going to be running 0.111 degrees Celsius below average. That's the entire planet. If you want to have a debate about global warming, I'm all for that. I'm all for debate about climate change. I think that there's some issues in regards to storm intensity, and we saw that with Sandy. I also think climate change is much more natural driven than man-made. There is a debate to be had about it, but when you're not portraying things as they really are in the news, that's where I have a problem. And at this point, it was enough for me to step in and say, hey, these are the facts. These are the actual temperatures around the planet. You can't debate that. Okay, this is a fact. Just because it's warm in our backyard, in our neck of the woods, CNN's down in Atlanta, it's warm there, it's warm up the East Coast. Other places are cold, and very cold, and the planet as a whole is cold, at least cooler than normal. That cold in Canada will be making its way into the United States within the next week to 10 days, and a winter pattern will be setting up. So the world is not coming to an end. The Mayans are not correct. The planet is running cooler than average, despite what you may think or what you hear on TV. The planet is actually cooler than average, and you want to have a global warming debate. I'm all for that, but you got to show the facts as they really are, and these are the facts. So I just wanted to share that. Have a good night.